Hi, my name is Ruth Plumb, and I'm a family business branding photographer at Ruth Plumb Portraits. Today, I'm going to share some tips and suggestions to have you feeling your best and feeling confident in photos. This is Richmond Hill Business Insider. All right, let's answer this question. My cell phone takes high quality photos. Why would I need photos taken professionally? This is a really good question. And yes, there's a lot of cell phones that do amazing taking photos. It's okay to show your personality, say if you're bowling with friends and things like that. I think the great thing about having a professional photo is that it shows that you're an expert and it shows that you're a professional. So this is why even though cell phones take amazing photos, it's great to have a professional photo taken. I always look awkward when I smile in photos. What can I do to look more natural? This is a good question too. I think sometimes when we have photos taken, we've probably had a photograph done where we see ourselves and we don't look so good. And sometimes that ends up making us feel like, feel natural and we're not showing our best. It helps when you're being photographed by someone that you know and trust. When I have my child photographing me, they're my child and I just light up when I'm being photographed by them and it makes me feel so good. And so I can understand that when you're being photographed by someone you haven't met and you feel a lot of pressure. One of the tricks that I use to actually have a person feel more natural, especially when they're feeling uptight and they give me this deer in headlights kind of look, I actually make a sound like and then they end up laughing at me and I catch them in that moment where there's that little twinkle where they're laughing at me. And that's a very natural kind of expression and emotion. Maybe tell some jokes, play some music that relaxes you, or just do something totally random that gets you laughing. How should I do my makeup for a photo shoot? To make it something that's timeless, I do feel it's important to keep things neutral. Sometimes with trends, there can be lots of different colors. People use blue eyeshadow. Even the way a person does an eyeliner can actually create a timeline as to when that makeup style was in. So I would suggest keep it neutral. Keep it simple, whether it's business branding or a headshot. It just makes a person look more polished and refined. Okay, what should I wear to a photo shoot? Now, depending on what this photo shoot is for. So for example, if you're coming in for a headshot, you want it to reflect what your profession is. You also want to reflect your personality a bit. In terms of a photo shoot about business branding, these are photos that will actually tell a story about what you do for your clients. So there's actually more of you that's being photographed. So in this case, yes, you want things to fit you. You also want things to reflect your personality and your authenticity. The thing is, if we wear clothes that actually fits us properly, when we're being guided and posed, I can see that they feel more confident. All right. What colors make me look best on camera? People may not be aware of this, but sometimes our skin tones give off a different shade. You may find that sometimes you love the color blue and you find 2 different t-shirts, 2 different blouses in blue, and you try these 2 different shades. And you'll find that one shade of blue, when you put it on, you feel really washed out. Then you choose another shade of blue and you put it on and it just brings in the colors of your cheeks and the colors in your lips. Most likely, you already know what colors look best on you because when you put it on, it makes you feel lit up. You feel energized. That's when you know that color looks good on you. If you're wearing something and it kind of makes you feel like, I feel so bland and washed out, then you know that's not the color that's best for you. I think that's a very simple way of explaining colors to choose for your wardrobe. But if you want to actually look it up, you can look up color analysis with wardrobe, and that will give you some insights on what colors look best on you. I really like this question. I don't think I'm photogenic, and I don't like the way I look in photos. What can I do? Now, when we're being photographed for a photo shoot, we can feel really nervous. And I do feel a big part of it is society has shown so many photos of people that look absolutely perfect. And the thing is, in magazines, even people who post to social media, we all know we're gonna choose our best photo to post on social media. So I think the important thing is not to compare ourselves. But I can understand if you're feeling uncomfortable, there are things that we can do and it has nothing to do about ourselves. So for example, if you want to have a pretty good photo of yourself, I would suggest one thing is lighting. I think the best scenario about lighting is if you take a flashlight, if you hold it in front of you, it's showcasing your whole face. That's great. If you're holding the light below you, the flashlight, you can see all these shadows and it looks really creepy. So you don't want to do that. How often should I update my business headshot photo? This is a really good question. I would joke around and say every year, but I think at most 2 years. As a business, we do have clients that have been waiting to decide whether they want to work with us or not. And they could be following us. They could be following us for a couple of years. They could be looking at our website and looking at our photos. They could be looking at our LinkedIn and looking at our photos. And I think for a potential client, when a person looks at our LinkedIn photo or they look at our website photo And then when they meet us in person, we want them to know that we are the same person. So I would suggest that if your headshot is more than 2 years old, it's time for a new headshot. What can I do to appear more confident in photos, and how should I pose? In preparation for a photo shoot, the confidence doesn't just come right at the time of being photographed. I do feel the confidence has to begin prior to the photo shoot. You feel best when you feel good in the clothing that you're wearing. If you decide to have hair and makeup, you want it done so that it actually makes you feel like it's your best self. In terms of how should I pose, if we think about the mugshot, we're posing up front. This doesn't give us any shape. This is kind of boring. So what I would suggest is when you're being photographed, you may want to go on an angle, drop your shoulder a bit. It gives a different kind of feel, a different kind of vibe. You can even use your hands. There's different ways to pose. There's different ways to accentuate or not accentuate parts of your body. Another thing is, even in your own photos with your family, bring your chin forward and a little bit down. Because sometimes when we're feeling tense, it could be like this. We don't want this kind of action happening, but it happens because it's natural. If you can't remember to pull your chin forward and down, it would be great to have someone guide and direct you with that. How do you make your clients feel comfortable during a photo shoot? So when I work with clients to help them feel their best and feel confident in their photos, I really like to have a consultation with them. We discuss how they want to be photographed. We discuss what kind of story they want to tell with their photos. I actually encourage that a client brings in a few different outfits so they don't have to decide on one look. I've had clients who've come in pretty nervous, feel unsure, and by the end of the photo shoot, they're just walking out there. They feel like they've owned the photo shoot and they feel so good about themselves. They joke around about going out for the night because they look so awesome. Sometimes they joke around that they felt like a total model. And like, you were a model. And that just lights me up inside. So if you find you're a person that tends to avoid the camera and you don't feel very comfortable being photographed and you don't feel photogenic, which I don't believe exists, I would be happy to help you. We meet together for a consultation. We go over wardrobe. When you come in for the photo shoot, we take care of your hair and makeup. I take care of you in terms of guiding and posing you, and then I get to invite you to take a look at your photos. My studio is in Richmond Hill, and you can find me at ruthplumbportraits.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you found my tips and suggestions helpful to have you feel more confident in your photos, and I look forward to seeing them on LinkedIn and on your website, and I look forward to seeing you.